Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings 3, and yeah, interesting times ahead indeed. Bavaria is, as we can see, independent, so the unification of Europe, well, didn't last that long. We still are in Francia, so we're still part of that, but of course we're also our own kingdom. So whatever happens to the Empire of Francia, of course, also affects us. So this guy here, Alphonse, is the next heir to the whole thing, just in case, so we should probably be on good terms with him. Now, Bavaria, on the other hand, has a bit of a rattling story ahead of it. First of all, we have a dwarf queen at the moment. That makes her already pretty weak. Look at how weak she actually is. She's got lots of bad things. She's delicate. She's a dwarf, of course. That makes her a bit weaker there, but she's got good martial skills. Her heir, though, on the other hand, is Tyrion Lannister, I should say. So he is another dwarf there once again, and he's got no heir. Why? Because he's got a 54-year-old wife. That's looking pretty interesting there in the whole thing. Speaking of wives and children, let's have a look at our own. My daughter at the moment is in prison, but that is not so bad, you know, so I don't care if she's in prison. She's already betrothed to someone. I do have an alliance with that, so she can stay there. I'm not going to pay the money. My son, my firstborn son, Prince Simon, he is also a genius, so we have a good family trait at the moment. He's not betrothed to anyone yet, so this is something that we should look out for. He has a guardian already, Pernell, and she is a clerk, so hopefully we do get some stewardship learning out of the whole thing, because of course, as you know, this is what I want. Now, also, we had a new update, by the way, so the interface is looking a bit more refined, as we can see, with some textures here and there. Also, the stress level is now down here instead on the left corner, so these are things that are new. Speaking of new things, for the attack, we are at the moment going with the communal government, taking another 11 years for the Bavarian culture, and as we can see, we have 6 Bavarian counties. We only need 2 more, and then we could become the head of the culture of Bavaria, of the Bavarian culture. And of course, that is something I want to thrive for, I want to go for, so promote the culture is something that we want to do. Let's just have a look where we don't have Bavarian culture yet. So as we can see, close to ours, everything is Bavarian. We also have Trent. In Trent, I think we have the Cisalpine culture. In Grisons, it's Bavarian now. In St. Gallen, it is still Swabian, so I think we might actually promote our culture in St. Gallen, so that we do then have another county for that. And another very interesting thing that we can do now is we can usurp a title that is outside of our kingdom, and that is Augsburg. Let's just have a look at that. As we can see, Augsburg here is, well, a duchy, or a Banate of Augsburg it's called, and as we can see, we have 3 of the counties that belong to it, and someone else has 2. That means we can usurp the title because we have more de jure counties now of this Augsburg. As we can see, this is the whole area, and we had to have 2 or 3 in our realm. So let's usurp it. It costs me 250 gold, which is, well, easy, and gives me 300 prestige, and of course also a claim then on the other counties by right. And this is something, of course, that I like to go with. So now we are the Duke, and my son is going to be my heir to the whole thing here, which makes it really cool. And we now have a de jure claim on the rest of it, which makes it even more powerful. The problem, though, is that since Bavaria is not in our kingdom or in our emperor anymore, we would have to declare war against her, and she is pretty strong. So right now our forces are similar, and similar is never a good way of starting a war. She's allied to a pretty strong king there, the king of Bohemia. That is not the best thing that we have there, but she is 54, so she might die at some point now, and her heir is not that strong at all. So we might actually have a chance at Augsburg then as well. Alright, in our own domain, we do have low control in Alpsee, Trent and Innsbruck. And yes, I'm going to try and pronounce these names now in the German way, because some of you complained, of course, I'm German and I could just pronounce it the way I do. But if you're in the English-speaking mode, it's very hard to switch to German all the time. And yeah, in these counties, I'm going to increase the control now. We have a bit of a skirmish down here. Bohemia and Bavaria are fighting down here. What? They're allied usually. Why is the Kingdom of Bohemia fighting against the Kingdom of Bavaria? They have an alliance. Oh, there is no alliance anymore. The alliance broke. Yep, they're fighting against each other now. That is interesting. Now, what I still want to do is, of course, Innsbruck is my hometown, so this is where I get most of my taxes and levies from. So we should continue upgrading this little area here. Let's have something new. Hill forts gives me some defender advantage, which is always a nice thing. If I have war against someone, of course, they try to go to my capital right away, and the stronger my capital is, the better. This is very important for any kind of attack. So Hills Fort is something that I'm going to construct now here in Innsbruck as well. Speaking of which, we also have a city here, Meran. And in Meran, what we could actually do is we could upgrade the whole town if we have the money for it, which would give us a bit more money then as well. And that is something, yeah, why not? Alright, someone wants to pay me 10 for this guy here. I can accept. And someone wants to pay me 200. Oh no! Alright, I have to pay for my daughter. I'm not doing that now. We also have something new. The emperor wants to educate my son. We're not doing this. We can also ask my head of faith now for a bit of money, since we do have so much piety. And I don't intend to actually, you know, create my own culture or my own religion just yet. Very good. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, we have quite a lot of gold there. I might use this gold for some further upgrades. We do, of course, not only have Innsbruck. I think what also belongs to us. Trent belongs to us. So Trent is, yeah, not that bad, I think, right? We have a development of 18 here in the city of Trento. Alpsee, I think, also belongs to us. Yes, so I want to, of course, develop the counties that really belong to me, the core counties that I have. And Innsbruck definitely is that. Brixen, we have someone else right now, Prince Ulrich of Asturia, who also has Zurich. But yeah, that's fine for me in that regard. But my core county should grow. So Trent is one of them, because it's kind of like my border, my fortification here against the south. So I want to really, you know, it's the only county where you can really go northwards, right? Because there you have impassable terrain, so you can only go north with Kur that we have here, and Trent which we have here. So that is really powerful, you know. So there's the mountain passes, and we control them right now. And of course, those counties should be really strong then because of that. What we can see is that Trent is actually pretty well developed. It has a temple there as well. I would really like to create a city. We could actually do this. We have the money. And we also have a new liege. He died quite early with 44. Alright, Alphonse is now the new liege. And he wants to give me the steward. Thank you very much. Finally, this is a huge boost on the money once again. That we have now the steward title. That's 4 coin per month in addition. Really nice. I think let's go with the city. We are building the city now. Costs me 400, but we can afford that. And it's giving me lots of taxes. We have 6 prisoners at the moment. Let's just see who is not that powerful. Is not allowed to a faction because she's in prison. She's of Alsace. She's pretty powerful though. I mean, I guess she would pay us quite a lot of money. Engeltraud, she's called. 30. No, forget it. I'm not doing that. She doesn't have more. So we really should wait on that. Then we have some smaller prisoners. Those we can actually ransom because I don't really care about them. I only care about my vassals, right? So I do have 2 vassals here right now in my prison. And of course we should definitely keep them there because they're powerful and they wanted to start a faction already against me. And of course I'm not allowing that. Once again, thank you, Pope. I think I like my Pope. Is that my Pope? No, that's a Byzantine Empire. He's got 35,000 gold. Where is he? He's nowhere. Interesting. Alright, let's go back to my son and try to find a spouse for him. Oh! Princess Kira, 17. She would be an ally, and we would be allied with the Byzantine Empire then. In that regard, this of course is pretty cool. It's pretty powerful. The next alliance would be Rob then with 2,600 and what? It's a guy. Is my son homosexual? No, he's not. He's way too young for that yet. But why can we choose a... Oh no! Bullshit. Sorry, that is my fault there. That's of course the ruler at the moment. He's 1. And he's the ruler of Rab. So in that regard. Then we have the Byzantine Empire. I think, despite not having the best traits, first of all, it's not inbred then, because she's far away. We had way too many inbred sons in the past, but the alliance makes it really strong. It would probably cost me 300 prestige to call them into the war, but 8,000 soldiers, that is so powerful that I'm actually inclined to go with that. Plus Simon gets 600 prestige already right away, which makes it even better, right? So let's send the proposal out there and get the alliance. And anyway, until the age of 16 we can still cancel the whole thing anyway, and get someone with better traits than once we start making babies. But until then, well, let's just have this alliance there because it is powerful. We have too many duchies at the moment, so I'm going to give my son one of the duchies, and it's probably going to be Duchy of Augsburg, right? So he becomes my vassal, but he is my son anyway. And of course, he gets lots of titles with that. And Simon is doing the thing now. Very good. He still has the Guardian, right? Yes, still has the Guardian that is training him in all of this. And let's just have a look at my succession there as well. Simon is, of course, my succession. He is now the Duke of Augsburg, and he stays that way. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. Stuart. We do need a new steward. Let's just have a look at his... Yeah, Walrom is the only good one here. I do have some vassals as well that would like to have that title. St. Gallen, I don't have to care about that because it's a weak vassal anyway. And it seems like he's really the only one that I can go with. My bishop, very weak at the moment. Are we Orthodox? We are Orthodox. Alright. And everything else is looking fine. My marshal though should increase control in some counties there. What is going on? Bloodstained cloth, crow's feathers, strange smelling concoction. This is the evidence presented to me by a group of villagers from Trent as proof that Patricia has been practicing witchcraft in her hut in the outskirts of the village. She's doing that naked, right? I think it's the Adamite religion. It forces those guys to be naked. No idea why. And I don't know what kind of mark she's got there on her breast. The villagers claim her evil works must be the cause of the bad weather and are calling for the execution. Oh. A witch, you say? I could use a new advisor. She's not really good at anything. I mean, diplomacy, right? But I don't want to have a naked diplomat. That evidence is circumstantial. Release her. She must burn. We do get 10 stress and we are already critical. That would lead to a breakdown. So I cannot do this. So 3 stewardship lifestyle experience, and we do get some upset peasants in Trent for 5 years, but that is really all, right? That's not going to change that much, I hope. Right, and we also got, first of all, we can ransom now her, but she would create a faction once again, so I don't like that. And also let's go with vassal levy contribution. Plus 20, so this increases our army there even more. And I think by now we could have a war at her and she would be inferior because of Byzantine Empire. But let's just not go there yet. Let's just have a look there as well. We do have, as we can see, Augsburg, which is under siege at the moment by the Empire of France. Is there a war? Oh, look at that. Nördlinger claim on the Duchy of Augsburg. It might actually come to Francia pretty soon there, because we are also winning this. And my liege won the war with King Wolfgang. He's called Wolfgang? No idea. And we also have now... Oh, on the Kingdom of Bavaria. Is that a war? Yeah. That is once again a war against Bavaria to claim it for the Empire of Francia. Which would be amazing because then we could continue with our expansion. So I'm also preparing for that with my bishop. We need more claims and I'm going to claim Berchtesgaden. First of all, it is my neighbor. It is the neighbor to Salzburg. So it is the last county we have on our way to Salzburg. I really want to get it. It should be also in a very high development there, 15, that is fine. And yeah, once we are part of Bavaria again, or Bavaria is part of Francia, we might actually have a go at it. Really good. And we do have a mental breakdown. Lately it feels like I'm constantly being distracted by lascivious thoughts and erotic fantasies. With all the hardship of my everyday life, it is all too easy to lose myself in daydreams and forget about reality. These desires are clearly interfering with my life, but what should I do about them? I must sequester myself to avoid temptation. We gain the trait reclusive, which is not good for stewardship. And would gain the trait reclusive, right? Perhaps a new view of God might help. We convert to Nestorianism. No, I'm not doing that. Plus we get a new patriarch, then once again he looks not very happy. I will bite my lip. No, let's get reclusive. It can't be that bad. A bit of less stewardship, that's fine, I guess. And you can change Prince Simon's contract, because we have a hook on him. He's my son, after all. But no, I'm not doing that. And we only have too few knights. What? Oh, we need one more knight. But in that case, can we first of all... Yeah, we can recruit a very good one as well. For 110, that's too much. He would be a very bad one, but he's even more expensive. No, I'll be happy with the way we are right now. Alright, I'm eager to see what comes out of this battle here, of this war. I think we're actually winning. Yeah, we are winning this one. Alright, another thing that we can do now is we can actually go for the highest crown authority, level 4, which would give me even more vassal contribution by another 20%. Also way more money, 25% more money from my vassals. They cannot wage war anymore. I can designate my own heir. The clan government vassals will provide at least 25% of vassals. And this is pretty powerful. It costs us a bit of prestige, but I'm going with that. And thus we have the highest crown authority. Of course, my vassals will absolutely not be happy about that. So there is another reason why my chancellor, he is pretty good by the way, is doing the domestic affairs. So the direct vassal opinion is increased, and the stewardship is so important because it gives me another boost to my vassals, right? Look at them. They're still pretty happy there. I've got my most powerful vassals in prison, so I don't have to care about that. And in that case, it should be fine at the moment as is, so I can also check that with my vassals. So actually, one in prison here likes me, and the other ones, yeah, it's looking pretty good. Those who hate me mostly are in prison, and so far this one here is the most powerful one that is not in prison. She's here on the Iberian Peninsula. By the way, yes, I know I have the Iberian Peninsula, and yes, I know I could go with way more territory here, but it's just not my focus in this game. I don't want to be in Spain. I want to actually, you know, control the Alps. And that was my goal all along. And we can also go with a new claim on Berchtesgaden now. So this is also a claim on us. Very good. Bavaria at the moment is actually winning this whole thing, I think. Might be a good idea to actually go with war against her as well. I don't know. So far, we'll see how it comes. And invite me to a feast. He doesn't like me at all, but he's got no intrigue level. Let's accept. Let's just see what comes out of this. We still have this active one there as well. And as one plate of food is placed by the next, my vassal Prince Bishop Matthias goes on and on about tome collections. And that was how we salvaged that mess. Are you sure I'm not boring you, my lord? Please go on. Gain some interesting conversation trait there as well, even though I don't like that guy. And the feast is dwindling down, and I find myself deep in conversation with my committed vassal, Prince Bishop Matthias. He inquired about my opinion on theological treatises, a subject he's deeply interested. Oh, what fascinating subject that is. Of course, we have to be a bit more diplomatic in that whole thing. We also gain a new perk. I could go with the council opinion. Look at that, powerful vassal increases, and we gain the administrator trait then with even more stewardship. I think, yeah. Let's continue here. Also here, toe the line. Your vassals are less likely to join an independence faction. Really powerful trait there. And it was a, well, nice feast, but we gain 15 stress because we are shy at the moment. Alright. Another thing that we need to do is that the primary heir right now, who has the most votes in my kingdom, by 1, would inherit my kingdom, and he is outside of my dynasty, and he's also outside of my realm, so he's over here in Asia actually, or well, in East Europe. And in that case, we need to murder him or something similar, right? So let's try the murder scheme for now. We don't have the money to support that, but he needs to die at some point. Let's also have my spy master, who's very powerful, support the scheme. Let's just see, it's at 30 now. Perhaps we can invite someone. I can invite my bishop. And that's not even expensive. And he would follow me there. Let's also invite this guy here. And as we can see, the murder scheme is taking shape. Another 10% with 55 coin we can go with. Looking good. We are past 90%. I think, in my experience though, this is a certain failure in this game. So everything that is below 95% will just fail. But well, let's try this again, right? Because who knows? Bavaria is doing good. Gotta say that. They're not giving up that easily. At the moment, there is a problem, I think. Should we help? Should we... it's only in our interest that we might actually take this one. That Bavaria is part of us again. Because then we can expand. No, it's looking good again. There's a huge new force coming in, as we can see. It's going up again. The time has come. My agents are in place. 91% chance. The plan worked and he died. Very good. So the primary heir to the kingdom is gone. Let's just check the succession. And this guy here is once again the rank number 1. And of course, whenever there's someone else that is more powerful, then we will have to kill him. So Prince Ulrich, my brother, would be with 3 votes. But yeah, my candidate has the most votes at the moment. A word of advice, I saunter between the market stalls of Innsbruck, a heavy pouch tugging at my belt. How do I make this coin work for me? Alright, we had this already. Invest in a jeweler's workshop. That gives me plus 10% taxes and 5% prestige for Innsbruck for 100 coin. I think this is pretty good. Let's invest. And tourney troubles. As king, I have been obliged to attend a local jousting tournament, but the contestants have been delayed. The tourney won't start for at least another hour. Looking around, I notice my friend Bishop Matthias sitting under a nearby pavilion, clearly bored halfway to death. On the other hand, I could just pass the time by reading scriptures. Spend some time with him gives me stress, so I should not do this, probably. I've wasted enough time in this disaster. We lose some stress, which is important. We are pretty high there on the stress level. Stress level 1 already. I want to lose this. We also got a notable guest. She's a trained healer. Recruit to court 30. Let's do this, because we don't have a court physician yet. And we might actually appoint her as that. She is my court physician now, and she's a trained healer, so that is pretty good. Alright, the war still wages on. I'm inclined perhaps to really help there to get Bavaria back into my domain, or in my empire at least. And other than that, stay tuned.